Officer Grimpleshanks the bridge troll was not the sort of public servant you could miss. 10 feet tall in boots made from two retired manhole covers, with skin the reliable shade of olive drab you find on forgotten military jeeps, he glowed under the orange sodium lamps that line the city's underslung bypass. His patrol post lay exactly where Cypress Avenue met the old stone viaduct, a shadowy vault locals still called Billy Goat Bridge. Even though billy goats hadn't clattered across its mossy ribs in a century, at least not until the city's new urban homesteading initiative relocated a herd of eco-friendly lawn mowing goats to the park on the far side, the resulting foot and hoof traffic jam, combined with the discovery that wealthy commuters in low-slung sports cars had adopted the narrow bridge as a private shortcut to avoid downtown lights, forced the mayor to try something drastic. The police union grumbled, Public Works shrugged, and the Department of Mythical Affairs, yes, it existed. This is a modern city, saw an opportunity for interdepartmental synergy. Hence the experimental hire. A troll, unbeholden to standard payroll but contractually obligated to wear an oversized reflective vest reading traffic enforcement in sparkly green paint. On the evening I first met him, I was riding along as part of a human interest assignment for Channel 8 News. My name is Kara Pritchard, and I had drawn the short straw, while the rest of the newsroom chased a scandal involving pigeons rigging drone deliveries. My producer, sensing ratings, promised viewers an exclusive look at the metropolis's most unusual cop. I expected slapstick. I did not expect philosophy, livestock, nor an incident report featuring a yellow Lamborghini and a bag of organic rutabagas. Grimbleshanks greeted me with a salute that rattled every bolt in the guardrail. Even in Civilian Observer, mind the chalk circle. It keeps the bridge from sinking into metaphysical despair. He winked an eye the size of a grapefruit. You drew that with sidewalk chalk? I asked, pointing to the faint spiral on the pavement. Regulations say I may use any non-toxic marking device, he replied. Plus, the goats lick it clean every hour. Built-in maintenance. At that moment, the first wave of rush hour hit. A trio of skateboarders, two hipsters on electric scooters, and a Viking-bearded gentleman walking 6 therapy ferrets. Grimbleshanks extended an arm like a railroad crossing gate and bellowed, "Howl, ye travelers of wheel and whisker!" Everyone screeched or scurried to a stop. "Riddle time?" asked the tallest skateboarder, sounding bored but resigned, as though riddles were now as unavoidable as speed bumps. "Aye," the troll confirmed. "New City Ordinance Article 4 subsection Trollolamo. To proceed, each party must answer correctly, else take the detour down the slope, around 3 miles, and up the rattly steel stairs that smell of damp gym socks." None of them fancied the detour. Grimbleshanks cleared his throat so violently a nearby street lamp flickered. What has no horns, yet may still be rammed? No hoofs, yet can prance from 0 to 60 in 3.4 seconds if the owner's ego is insecure? Easy, the electric scooterman said, heaving a sigh. A sports car. Which specific breed? The scooterman looked flummoxed. A racy one? Breed specificity is crucial, the troll admonished. He turned to the skate trio. You? Lambo, guessed a boy with purple hair. Full model name? Lamborghini Aventador? He ventured. Acceptable, the troll boomed, stepping aside. The skateboarders zipped off, leaving the ferret walker and scooterist to trudge toward the detour, grumbling about unfair precision. It teaches them to read owner manuals, Grimbleshanks whispered to me. Civic literacy. Half an hour later, the goats arrived. 34 of them, guided by 2 city gardeners armed with nothing but rope belts and unwavering optimism. The animals wore little blinking collar lights so they wouldn't vanish into dusk like woolly specters. Despite that high-tech flourish, the scene looked biblically rustic. Shepherds facing a giant under the looming arch of a bridge. Grimbleshanks waved them to a halt. Riddle for ruminants. Any goat who answers may proceed. Those who fail shall wait for remedial tutoring. The herd blinked slowly. Goats, as it turns out, are less interested in riddles than in nibbling exposed shoelaces, and city policy forbade the troll from menacing livestock. So he adopted compromise. Gardeners may speak on behalf of their caprine constituents, he declared. One gardener, Rowell, stepped forward. Shoot! Grimbleshanks held up a reflective paddle. On one side was the usual stop. On the other, in Sharpie, someone had scrawled, Why, riddle? Who in this queue has 2 stomachs, 4 hoofs, and still thinks a turn signal is optional? Rowell laughed. All of them, correct. Proceed at a gentle trot. Try not to text while chewing cud. The goats clip-clopped past, leaving pellets which Grimbleshanks dutifully sprinkled with sand to avoid slipping hazards. Did you just traffic snark goats? I asked, astonished. I serve equally, he said, puffing out his vest. Justice is blind, although my left eye sees infrared. By 6:10, the sports cars began to queue. First came a crimson Dodge Viper whose exhaust note sounded like caffeinated thunder. Next, a yellow Lamborghini Huracan with scissor doors that fluttered like insect wings. Behind them stretched a parade of Porsches, Aston Martins, and a single electric Super Coupe that hummed with the smugness of zero emissions. The drivers revved impatiently while fiddling with carbon fiber cup holders. Grimbleshanks signaled stop. His voice boomed, "Welcome, horsepower-obsessed hominids, your riddle awaits." A Porsche pilot lowered his window 2 inches, just far enough to mutter, "Come on, man, we got reservations." "Patience is a virtue," the troll intoned, "and virtues are cheaper than speeding tickets." He consulted a spiral notebook bristling with sticky tabs. "Very well, riddle. I am the beginning of motion, the end of disgrace, the builder of bridges and the staller of race. What am I?" Silence. Engines idled. A faint bleat drifted from the park. The Huracan owner, hair sculpted like geldling weenie, sneered. "Is this some kind of performance art? Because I paid $30 for premium gasoline, and if I idle much longer, the earth's gonna melt." "Does not frighten a troll," Grimbleshanks replied. "I once courted a volcano. Answer or reroute?" I recognized the riddle's answer, but remained journalistically neutral. The Viper driver guessed traffic, which earned a pity shake of the head. The electric coupe driver whispered, "Infrastructure?" Wrong again. After 4 wrong answers and 1 attempt to bribe him with track day vouchers, Grimbleshanks pointed toward the detour with grave ceremony. Sports cars slunk away, exhausts rasping in wounded dignity. I couldn't help myself. The answer was cooperation, right? "Indeed," said the troll, "but I phrased it so no one who unironically says vroom vroom could solve it." He tapped his notebook. Behavioral nudging. Over the next 2 hours, Grimbleshanks juggled riddles like a quiz show host on espresso. To a delivery cyclist, what's always in front of you, but also behind schedule. To a jogger with earbuds, I sing without a mouth and clap without hands. What am I? His sports playlist vibrations through earphones. To a pair of urban chicken enthusiasts wheeling a coupe, what smells foul, tastes like breakfast, and crossed the road already? Their future omelet. He tailored each puzzle to its target, sliding from pun to proverb with seamless showmanship. Some people called him names, some offered tips. One toddler gave him a half-eaten graham cracker, which he accepted with teary delight. At 8:00 p.m., the mayor's office phoned my producer, demanding a status update. "We need Robull," she hissed through my Bluetooth. "Preferably something viral. Any chance the troll dances?" "He does riddles," I whispered back. "And maybe philosophical commentary?" "Philosophy doesn't trend, Kara." Just then fate delivered. From the eastern approach roared a lime-green McLaren, stereo blasting a song whose lyrics consisted entirely of the word money chanted over bass. The driver, a 20-something influencer named Dash Harrington I, recognized him from billboards selling vitamin-infused cologne, slammed to a stop so violently I tasted ozone. He leaped out, phone already live streaming. "Yo, followers, I'm about to educate this bridge goblin on the power of turbocharged finance." Grimbleshanks regarded him with a sigh older than stalactites. "First, I'm a troll, not a goblin. Second, welcome to Municipal Riddle Checkpoint. State your intellect or spin around." Dash angled his camera for a selfie with the troll's midriff. "My brain's insured for $1,000,000, big guy. Hit me." The troll drew himself to full height, reflective vest sparkling like a disco ball. "Very well. Riddle of the evening. A goat, a sports car, and a bridge inspector enter a bar." "Stop!" Dash laughed. "I've heard this one. The bartender says, 'Is this a joke?'" "Ha ha! Easy!" "Incorrect," Grimbleshanks declared. My version ends differently. Allow me to continue. Dash rolled his eyes, but waved for the stream to keep rolling. 1,000 emojis burst upward on his screen. The bartender, said the troll, offers them each a drink that will reveal their true selves. The goat becomes wisdom, the inspector becomes integrity, but the car becomes nothing. Why? Dash blinked. 'Cause cars can't drink. A superficial observation, but it dodges the essence. Final answer? He smirked. Yeah. Wrong. The correct answer. The car has no driver within, therefore no self to reveal. The troll leaned down until his tusks reflected in Dash's mirrored sunglasses. A hollow shell on autopilot is not a person, it is a hazard. Dash attempted humor. Dude, it's called self-driving mode. Exactly. The internet audience howled with textual laughter. Dash's follower count dipped in real time. He called the troll a prehistoric parking meter and demanded the chief of police. Grimbleshanks offered the detour. Dash refused, revved the McLaren, and tried inching past. Bad idea. The troll placed one hand on the car's carbon fiber roof. With a gentle wrench, he lifted the rear tires clear off the ground, holding the supercar like a misbehaving puppy. Bridge code, section 6. Attempted bypass results in impound. Dash's jaw hit the asphalt before the tires did. The live stream exploded, a digital riot of disbelief, popcorn gifts, and heartfelt marriage proposals to the troll. Seeing my opportunity for ratings gold, I asked Grimbleshanks for comment. He obliged, speaking directly into my camera. Respect the riddles, respect the road. I'm not paid by the hour, I'm paid by the harmony. The clip went viral before we left the site. Yet the night wasn't done. At 10:14 p.m., the goat herd returned. Goats are creatures of habit. They will not detour gracefully. Unfortunately, a second wave of spurned sports cars, freshly regrouped after their detour, converged simultaneously. Headlights flared, hooves echoed. Somewhere, bagpipes began to play. Turned out to be a busker under the western arch testing acoustics. The troll raised both arms. All stop! We are at moral capacity! But momentum and ego collided. A particularly forward goat later, identified as Duchess Nibbleton, bounded onto the tarmac, startling the yellow huracan that Dash had been tailing earlier. The driver swerved, tires screaming, and the goat leaped onto the exotic hood with the grace of a caffeinated ballerina. Pandemonium. Grimbleshanks moved like a landslide given purpose. With one hand, he scooped Duchess Nibbleton off the Lamborghini. With the other, he planted his whistle cut from forge from a subway rail between tusk and lip, emitting a note that made even concrete shiver. Everything froze. Goats paused mid-chew. Engines stalled. The distant bagpipes coughed and fell silent. Conflict mediation, he announced. We shall solve this the old way. Riddling contest, team versus team, livestock versus luxury. I whispered. Is that even legal? He winked. Bridge jurisprudence, very niche, but rock solid. On the north side, goats clustered behind Raoul. On the south, sports car owners gathered around the Huracan's driver, whose face was the color of undercooked shrimp. Both captains agreed grudgingly to the terms. Best of 3 riddles. Loser yields priority passage for 1 week. Riddle 1. The troll rumbled. I have 4 legs at dawn, 4 legs at noon, and 4 legs at dusk, but I am not a beast. What am I? The car's side erupted in frantic Googling until Grimbleshanks confiscated smartphones, placing them in a pile he dubbed technological timeout. The goat simply stared. Then, with astonishing calm, one elderly goat bleated thrice. Raoul translated, a table. Correct, the troll cheered. Goat team 1 point. Riddle 2. I eat miles but refuse meals. I possess many seats yet never sit. What am I? A Porsche driver pumped a fist. A bus. Affirmative. Car team equalized. The goat stamped hooves in annoyance. Riddle 3. The decider. Grimbleshanks drew himself to maximum theatricality. I am revered by trolls, feared by trolls, and if trolls don't mind me, trolls cease to be. What am I? Silence thickened until you could smear it on toast. I watched the troll's eyes glitter. This was personal. Unexpectedly, Duchess Nibbleton stepped forward, chin up, tail flicking. She released a triumphant bleat so lyrical it might have been opera. Rowell swallowed. She says the answer is a bridge. Gasps echoed. The sports car faction looked hopeful. Was that correct? They turned to the troll. Grimbleshanks nodded, eyes misting. Indeed. Without bridges, trolls merely haunt riverbanks like soggy philosophers. He patted Duchess Nibbleton's head. Goats win 2-1. Passage is theirs. The sports car owners groaned, but accepted the ruling. Some offered conciliatory carrots to the goats. None accepted. Goats prefer shoelaces. One driver muttered about lodging a complaint with Mythical Affairs. Yet something fascinating happened. As they sat in defeat, they actually watched the goats file past, calm and orderly. Heard one say, they have good suspension. Another joked, 0 emissions plus built-in lawn service. Laughter replaced revving. When the roadway cleared, Grimbleshanks returned, confiscated phones, with a stern reminder to engage airplane mode during riddles. No one argued. Midnight arrived. The troll logged incidents on a tablet the size of a cafeteria tray. I asked what conclusion he'd report. He read aloud, observed integration of livestock and luxury vehicles via structured intellectual exercise. Result, 95% reduction in road rage, 80% uplift in cross-species empathy. One dented Lamborghini calls goat hoof. Recommend continued deployment of troll-based traffic mediation. Think the city council will listen. Politicians understand 3 things: numbers, narratives, and news coverage. You're filming, I'm numerating. Together we narrate. He snapped the tablet shut. Plus, if they ignore me, I'll redecorate their social media avatars with ear hair. We packed our gear. Grimbleshanks extinguished the portable braziers that kept his toes warm. OSHA had insisted on flame-free heaters, but trolls are, by nature, traditionalists. As he coiled reflective rope lights, I noticed a fresh sign bolted to the arch. Bridge riddles, next exit. Someone judging by the size of the wrench marks. Probably the troll had added smaller text beneath. Thank you for cooperating. Mind the goats. Before I left, I asked him the unanswered riddle from earlier, the one that had stumped the sports cars. Why is cooperation both the beginning of motion and the end of disgrace? He smiled, tusks shining in the vanishing moonlight. Because a single axle spins, but a pair of wheels moves forward. Same for hearts. I thought about that while loading the van. In the distance, across the emptying park, I could see Duchess Nibbleton perched on a picnic table. 4 legs, dawn till dusk. A trio of drivers, formerly strangers, now fed her apple slices while discussing whether to sponsor a community car wash whose proceeds would buy reflective vests for goats. Somewhere beneath the bridge, I swore I heard Grimbleshanks humming. Maybe it was the echo, maybe the river, but it sounded suspiciously like bagpipes learning jazz. Whatever it was, traffic flowed easier than it had in months. As we pulled away, the troll waved an arm as massive as civic infrastructure itself. His reflective vest caught the headlights, and for a moment he resembled a living caution sign. Prepare to question. Under that bridge, amid goats, sports cars, and riddles, people genuinely did. And in doing so, they moved together safely home.